Hey there, and welcome back. So this is our weekly Q&A session. So what we'll go into now is what we've been seeing in the market, and then we'll flick over to a question from one of our viewers.
Sounds good.
All right, Craig, what have you been seeing in the market?
Over to me.
Yep,
okay.
Over to you.
All right. Look, something that we've seen a bit of in the past, but it came up yesterday actually, is finance contracts being crashed based on not being able to get finance approved. There's more and more of a trend around this. I mean, have you seen the same?
Yeah, I've seen a few. So it's interesting. The market has risen quite a lot over the last few months, and some suburbs have seen growth of 50,000 or more. So.
Yeah, and not all lenders agree with that growth.
Yeah, so the valuers don't always sort of keep up to that pace of growth. So there has been, and I think the problem is a lot of people are trying to purchase properties with their 5% deposit, and they're sort of right to the wire. So there's no wriggle room there if the valuation doesn't come in at their offered price. So and the contract price. So
And the other consideration is as far as the seller is concerned, that benchmark of a price has been set.
I know, they don't like dropping the price. And
we've already got an offer for this, let's hold out for that or more.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is understandable.
And you wouldn't, you get all excited, you start to, count your money and what you're going to do with it. And then all of a sudden you think that, you're holding out for that price. So, and also the other side of that is that once the property has been on the market for a little while, and then it's gone under contract and it's had 2 weeks finance, and they've perhaps even tried to extend that finance clause to get the finance. So it could be 2, 3, perhaps even longer weeks on the market by the time it then comes back onto the market. So then it does start to have that sort of feeling of a stagnant property. So
it starts to get a bit of a perception of a stigma.
Yeah. So there has been a couple I've seen like that as well. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not a great trend, but I guess it comes back to the age-old thing. Understand what your borrowing capacity is.
Yeah.
Don't assume that because it was this, in a month's time it's going to be the same. It might be higher, it might be lower. The appetite of the different lenders varies. It goes up and down.
It does. So have a chat to your mortgage broker and get a good understanding of the best way you can put your best foot forward. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's from my point of view. What have you been seeing?
Yeah, well, we're seeing lots of first home buyers and investors in the market.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So the investors are sort of in that market in the sort of 500,000-600,000, like the entry-level units, and right up to...
What world do we live in where 500,000 to 600,000 is an entry-level property? It's amazing.
And also up to, like family homes, so up to around $1 million. So it means that the first home buyers now are also competing with the investors. And the problem for the first home buyers is that some of those investors are cash buyers. So
an attractive contract.
Yeah, that becomes a more attractive contract for
absolutely.
the vendor. So that's something that I've been seeing.
Gotcha. All right, let's swing over to the Q&A side of things.
Oh, what have we got?
We've got one this week. A client had reached out. They're moving up from down south. His son, or their son, is a keen surfer, and so wanted to know what are the best locations, for somebody to have good access to surfing. Is there any good surfing around the Gold Coast, Dan?
There could be.
It could be.
Yeah, I think that, that's the thing. The Gold Coast has got, 70, 80 kilometres of beaches.
Yeah.
But the surfers are all around that Kira, Coolangatta, Greenmount, Snapper Rocks, Duranbar, or D-Bar as the locals call it. So that is basically where, if you're a keen surfer, you want to be as close proximity to that. So depending on what they're looking for, it sounds like they're a family, and what their budget is, I'd be considering the Tugun, Elanora, Currumbin Waters, Tweed Heads, Banana Point.
Yeah.
Coolangatta if they can afford a family home there. Otherwise, they can live in a unit there and just run across the beach to the surf. So,
but it's a pretty easy thing to find out too. I mean, just Google Gold Coast World Surfing Reserve.
Yeah, that's right. So that pretty much is from Snapper Rocks up to Burleigh. So Burleigh Waters, Palm Beach, all of those areas are close proximity to great surf breaks. So
fantastic.
That should
cover them.
Yeah, don't go to the Spit. It's a long way from the Spit down to the cool beaches. If you're into boating, fishing, definitely the Spit. But surfing, come down the southern end.
What's the difference between boating and fishing? Is boating what happens to a fisherman when they don't catch fish?
That's right.
Is that the way it works?
And then they go to the fish and chip shop on the way home.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, buy a fish.
All right. Thanks, Em.
All right. See you next time.
Thanks, guys.